when Father opens up China, when Father opens up China, when Father opens up China, if your neighbor, we can't even agree on that. Hey, maybe 6 years old is a little too early. Or like the Talmud says, a 3-year-old. Are you kidding me? 3-year-old? See, if we can't agree on just simple basic stuff, you understand how the society falls apart. The whole point is if we had a Christian ethic, even a simple, basic Christian ethic, like love God, love your neighbor, that is still a very powerful unifying force. But people don't believe that more and more. Right? It's the Islamic camp getting bigger. The Zionist Jews camp is getting bigger, stronger. The Christians are being split. Now they say the Orthodox or the Catholics are the dangerous, extremist forms of Christianity because they don't support the Zionist Schofield Bible and some of that. Gotta start making sense. Why Russia is so hated while Putin is strengthening the Orthodox Church. And they're known to be totalitarian when they got power, okay? It's not like they have a great history of liberty. But the point is that since these cabals are fighting, they're now saying that obviously the very conservative, non-pro-Zionist Christian factions are evil. They're extremists, danger. So that makes now the majority of Gen Z now extremists and dangerous people, population, which is going to Orthodox and Catholicism because they're leaving Protestantism, right? Protestantism has become way too relative. It's become rainbow anus cult in the West. In South Korea right now, everybody's talking about, oh, the Christians grew so fast in South Korea. They did, but they were supposed to serve the Lord, you understand? They were supposed to unite with true Father. He is the patriarch of their churches. If the Father was at home, they wouldn't be communists right now. In South Korea, the biggest pusher of socialism and, quote, gay rights and all this stuff is what? Is the mega churches. Just like you got in the West. West is further along down the path, right? But the anus called the rainbows everywhere. This is what they're leading, the Korean church too. Right? Because everybody knows that the Protestant church they don't have a patriarchy because the women, obviously, the women are gifted because they're compassionate and sensitive. So when they do religious work, I mean, we all know that women work hard. They many times outperform the men in religious work. Right? That's just a reality. In any religion, you'll see it. But the point is that in Protestant, they take over. The pastors are just changed out. So it's become a matriarchy. And because we're a matriarchy, and the very important value in the world of the feminine versus the masculine is niceness, kindness. Kindness is very important. Is that true? Right? Being kind to one another. It's very important. Right? It's a cardinal value in the woman's realm. And we need that. We need the kindness to a certain degree. But you need to have the patriarch. You have to have the father that's there. Because you cannot just be kind to everything, right? Because then the wolves come in and they take over, right? So you have to be, man, that's why the husband's there, to watch out. Watch. So at least in the Orthodox Catholic churches, they got their whole group there's obviously a very clear patriarchy, right? All the priests, the cardinals, the pope, whatever, all males. So these young men who grew up in these feminized matriarch churches, and they're like, man, we're sliding. Every generation, we're sliding more and more to be completely leftist. I can't be a part of this. I need to go where there's some male leadership, and I'm not demonized for being a man, right? And so the young people is now gravitating towards Orthodox and Catholicism because at least there's a visible patriarch that the hardworking women, they can't take it over because those positions are locked in. There have to be males, right? So the Protestant church, the Western Protestant church, even though it spread in Korea as well, is very weak now. they have some, obviously, they have the factions within it. There's conservative parts of the Christian church, and they're good folks. They battle with us too on the front line in Korea and South Korea and Japan. They're allies with us, so we're not poo-pooing everybody. But you look at it, it's like the West. It's like becoming just like that phenomena. It's like the big mega churches, which you all know is controlled by the government. They're all controlled by the funding. Those mega churches just pushing socialism, and communism, and liberalism on the population, feminism. All these things that break down and destroy the family, right? So this is that kind of situation is terrible for these, terrible. So when Father opens up China, it's much better that China is not just taking in Western Protestantism and in one generation, become pushing communism again, just like is now happening in Korea. That's not the way. You need the Father. So better to follow the true Father and bow to true Father. If China does that, then they will preserve all their culture, because the Western Protestant churches do not let any form of ancestor veneration in the East or anywhere, right? They do not allow. It's forbidden. So you have to cut off your tie with the ancestors, because they see that as idol worship, ancestor worship. Okay, which is the reason why, for example, in Japan, one of the big reasons why they cannot spread in Japan, because Japan has a real tie to their ancestral heritage. They still have lineal, in the West we call it nepotism, but in Japan they have 13 generations tea makers, 13 generation farmers, they see this as a good thing that is being passed down from father and son. In the West, that's bad, because y'all have been brainwashed to be against tribe and lineage. You've been so atomized, individualized, and how's that working out for you? Not well. You're all lonely, isolated, and you're mentally ill.